baby. Taking me down, spoiling me, driving me crazy. Aye, your nigga fantasy, my man reality. I had to lock in when I found out he could handle me. Some niggas call me extra, my nigga call me pressure. This shit be easy when you find somebody on your level. My nigga say my lady, he never say my bitch. Some niggas make excuses, he make that shit exist. Most niggas want attention, my nigga give me his. He know he a star, but he my biggest fan. My baby, taking me down, spoiling me. My baby. Let me talk to you right quick. Driving me crazy. Aye, let's get the smile talk. He make some big moves. I know you feeling me. You know I'm feeling you. A very freaky girl. You heard what Gucci said. First I give you my number, then you give me some head. Don't need no GPS. I know what's going down. You got that love, John. Baby, you 90s fine. I'm from Flash Time. You know I keep it wet. Like they gave him that good, but I gave him the best. Pop that pussy for your man, pop that pussy for your man, pop that pussy for your man, bitch. Pop that pussy for your man, why the fucking people nigga need to find your own man, bitch. Pop that pussy for your man, pop that pussy for your man, pop that pussy for your man, bitch. Pop that pussy for your man, why the fucking people nigga need to find your own man, bitch. My baby, taking me down, spoiling me, driving me crazy. My baby, taking me down, spoiling me, driving me crazy. He gets so deep in that pussy, it's like he looking for something, a tight squeeze, but he still gonna make his way through that tunnel. Yeah, I might bend over, but ain't falling for nothing. I turned this house into a home. I'm one hell of a woman. I'm so beautiful, gorgeous. He tell me every morning, I'm the type of fine, make a nigga run to that altar. Took me home to his mama, make him empty that wallet. He be running to that phone, fuck around trip when I call it. My baby, taking me down, spoiling me, driving me crazy. My baby, taking me down, spoiling me, driving me crazy. Pop that pussy for your man, pop that pussy for your man, pop that pussy for your man, bitch. Pop that pussy for your man, why you fucking people nigga need to find your own man, bitch. Pop that pussy for your man, pop that pussy bitch. Pop that pussy for your man, why you fucking people nigga need to find your own man, bitch.
Not man talking to her own self, girl. She said she'd have found her own man, baby. Now she know what it feel like to be a real kept woman, child. Maybe she'll have some more industry friends now. Because y'all know, girl, the running rumor about Meg is that she slept with ASAP Rocky. That's why Rihanna took her ass off for being a brand ambassador for Fendi Beauty, girl. You know, it's just been all type of things, honey. You know that Meg ain't really a girl's girl, honey. She don't really be on a girl code. She be on that code, child. So I'm so glad she got her a man to herself, child. I'm happy for her. But we're going to get into all med talk. Make sure that you guys thumbs up the video. Run those likes all the way up. You guys know that thumbing up the video not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary. What's up? Make sure that you guys are sharing the stream out to whatever it is you have digital community. Also, make sure that you have your notification bells set to all. And if you love everything that the King does here, you can always donate to the platform at $ Cash App Consciouztv with Conscious spelled with the Z on the end, just like it is here on the channel, and or paypal.me/ConsciouzTV. All donation information and social media handles are in the description box below. And last but not least, not only do you need to share it out everywhere, including put the link on the Ops platform. I don't really give a damn where you lay the link. Just let them whores know that we're loud, live, and in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
My baby, my man, my man, my man, my baby. What's going on, you guys? Happy Friday, y'all. It don't even feel like a Friday to me. Maybe because I've been in a time capsule the past few days. I've just been cozied up in front of the fireplace, sipping on hot cocoa and watching horror movies. It's not even cold enough for me to be sipping on goddamn hot cocoa or roasting over and in front of an open chestnut fire. However, I'm a fantasy-driven person, girl. I made it that cold, okay? And I had to literally rip my way and rip myself away from the damn coziness because that coziness got me in a chokehold. You guys know I'm a November baby, so I am particularly activated during the winter months. This is just the time of year that I just thrive, honey. I love coldness. I love chilliness. I just love being wrapped up. I love being layered up in clothes. I just live for winter and autumn. I just wish that these were like year-long months, especially like in the South where I am in particularly, because we don't have like hostile winters. We don't have 10 miles of damn snow. None of that. It just be like cold enough, chilly enough, breezy enough, shivery enough, girl, to just get your fashion on and get your snuggle on. So I really, 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 really live for this time of year. And then, of course, horror is one of my favorite genres. So I've been watching it. I also received the first 5 episodes of Welcome to Derry, which is a mini-series of Stephen King's It. I received that ahead of the premiere on the 26th, so I've been indulging in that as well, which I've just been getting my whole life, y'all. So I'm really happy these days. We might see my content slowing down just a little bit, girl, because, I want to enjoy life, because I know by this time next year, Halloween is going to be year-round. It's going to be real-life horrors going on this time next year. So while we're still right at the threshold of a total social collapse, I just want to get in all the feels of life. I just want to enjoy the little bit of paradise that's left in the earth, girl, before the tribulation period starts, bitch. Because, yeah, like we really about to enter into that, especially in the United States, child. So hold on to your wig, hold on to your seatbelt, hold on to your drawers, girl, because it's going to be all the way up. Now, the first thing we got to get into before we get into it all, of course, is Megan Thee Stallion. And for those of you who are asking, is this Meg's new song? Yes, it is Meg's new song, Lover Girl, okay? Which debuted when? When did Lover Girl come out, y'all? Okay, 19 hours ago. She also just dropped the visual for it. Visual 8 down to the boots. You guys know Megan Thee Stallion always looks gorgeous. She's always aesthetically pleasing. She's always going to bring the boom cat and the choreography, girl. So the videos are always going to eat down. And I really like that about Megan Thee Stallion. She's one of those artists who takes video creating very seriously, which I feel like kind of like fell off the last 10 years. Like, I don't know, something about social media and these high-powered ass cell phones like iPhones just took away people's creativity. So everybody started doing these Final Cut Pro ass music videos, being very lazy. I come from the era of, Janet Jackson's I Get So Lonely, Britney Spears, I'm a Slave for You, Christina Aguilera, Come On Over, NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. I'm used to videos really, 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 really being a part of the creative extension and package of the song, of the music, You know, I'm used to people bringing Michael Jackson level visuals. So this particular era has been very disappointing when it comes to music videos, but Megan Thee Stallion being someone who is very visualistic, obviously really appreciates the same era of music making, continues to always bring the themes, bring the aesthetics, bring the stylism of everything that makes a visual really epic and help you to love the song even freaking more. So the video is great. Now, the song, when I first heard a sample of Lover's Girl, I was here for it. I was like, okay, this is cute. Kissing You by Total was one of my childhood favorites, girl. Put me in all of the romantic feels, kept me all innocent and virgin-y. Now that I've heard the whole song, I still like the song, but I do think the critiques about the song are all valid. And you guys know we're not a stan account. Even our faves get dragged to smithereens. Our faves get ripped apart if they need that. We run even our faves that. That's what makes the platform so beautiful. It's because, you know, we rip everybody's heads off, and we also give everybody their fair share of roses. We don't allow our personal biases to shape where we land moment to moment. Now, because we're talking about music, we are talking about something subjective. So I understand. There are people who really, really, really love the song. They're gagged by the song. They have no issues with the song. Cool. For me, I think the instrumental is well produced. I love the way they sampled it. I love how they hip hopped up the total sample. But I don't like the arrangement of her vocals on the track. There are parts of the track that sound really bunched up. It sounds like there's a lot going on. And then the My Baby, My Baby, My Baby, maybe in the first half of the track where it lands, it just seems like a filler. It feels like they're just filling an empty space. I feel like they could have did something more creative, something more resourceful with that space rather than My Baby, My Baby, My Baby, My Pussy, My Pussy, My Pussy. I don't know. It just didn't really land for me. So I feel like they could have came a little harder and could have arranged her vocals a lot better over the track. But overall, I like the song. If the song was to come on, I wouldn't turn it. I would get up and twerk a BBL cheek or two. I think it's cute for Meg considering where she is in her love life. I know she's happy to finally have a mixed race man. So, you know, shout out to her and colorism. So, you know, it's cute. It's everything. And yeah. How do you guys feel about Lover Girl? Okay, tell me how you guys feel about it. Okay, Honey says, yes, her vocals and rapping is trash, but it's a cool bop in the car. Yeah, the vocals also were given a little elementary. You know, I was like, yeah, you know. But, you know, I mean, if it's just meant to be cute and it's meant to be cuddly, like a bad bitch's version of being cute and cuddly, then she landed it. This is a bad bitch's version of cute and cuddly girl. This is about as sentimental and as soft as it's going to get for a real life bad bitch, honey. So, you know, in that respect, hey, but it's cute. Yeah, and the video definitely eats down to the ground. I love Megan. There's almost nothing she could really. Well, that's not true, baby. We done tugged on that 360 lace front a time or two over here. I was going to say, girl, she can't do no wrong in my eyes, but that's not actually true. But I love Megan now, Boost. I'm just so happy for her, and I do think the song overall is great. So, score of 1 to 10. I would give the video a 10. The video slays down. She eats down. The bitch is in shape. I mean, she's immaculate. I have a pussy crush on Meg. I might need that from her if we ever, you know, cross paths in life. I'm going to need them panties up off you, Meg. The song, I'm going to give the song 1 out of 10, 10 being the best. I'm going to give the song a 7, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5 for the song, 10 out of 10 for the visuals. I particularly like the end and the Cupid outfit. It was given very like hot girl 90s aesthetics. I live for it. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for the song, 10 out of 10 for the visuals. Okay. J.I. says 9 out of 10 for the song. Okay. Video a 10 says renew. Song is a 10. Okay. Video a 10. Okay. So everybody agrees that the song gets given. Okay. Teresa says 9 out of 10 for the video and a 6 out of 10. Okay. Yeah. So we're all in the same general landscape when it comes to the song. The song gets given a 6, given a 7. Okay, with the exception of a 9 here and there for the song. Okay, yeah, okay. So we all on the same page with the song, baby. We got the song as a 6 or 10. Not bad, you know. It's above average, you know. Room for improvement for sure. The track did kind of sound like a rehearsal for the rehearsal, you know. It was giving a little bit of rehearsal for the rehearsal, but it's okay. It's still cute overall. Meg just in love and just out here just napping. And look, I hope Girl Being in Love does not collapse her bad bitchiness, girl, because when the girls fall in love, child, they start dancing in the goddamn street like Janet Jackson talking about, girl, this coochie is all for you, girl, just handing out the coochie lips to any goddamn body. Weaves be looking, 10 years old, baby. Okay, they just get real happy, real relaxed, child. Okay, the girls do better when they stressed, when they blood pressure through the roof, when they got a heart pacer in, baby, when they struggling, child. So I hope the love amplifies her like an infinity stone and don't lazy her up. But she was giving it in the music video, baby. Megan was giving it to the camera, girl. Like everything that happens in that bedroom between her and her man, she gave it up on the screen, girl. Okay, so, we'll see. Y'all saw what happened to Cardi B, girl. Cardi B went missing for 7 years, bitch, when she started getting good dick in her life, child. Okay, the girls just sit on down, baby. Okay, Candy Burst was out here before she found Ty talking about she fly above the drama, baby. Then when she got a good dick, baby, okay, she was flying low. Okay, she was in that kitchen barefoot pregnant, baby. Okay, looking like a damn member of the Clump family, child. The girls get real happy, baby. We start loving them right, girl. Okay, they start turning into a hot air balloon, baby, and converting back to Christianity and shit, child, and putting on Muslim guards, child. I mean, I'd be happy for the girls, personally. I'd be happy for them, child. But baby, they do lose a little something, baby, when the joy starts seeping in, child. So we gonna pray, honey, that she can keep her bad bitch energy intact, y'all. So y'all check out Lover's Girl, honey. Give her a thumbs up and, give her all the things, okay? Now, speaking of divas and R&B divas in particularly, girl, we got to get into Miss Brandy Norway, honey, who is out here about to collapse on the goddamn stage. Y'all know her and Monica is out here, girl, arguing over, girl, whose tour is mine, child. So Brandy almost had a medical emergency scale. All right, check this out, girl. She had to scurry on off the stage. This Miss Brandy, child, baby, she hit a hard U-turn, a reverse Uno, baby, and then she jetted like Sha'Carri Richardson, girl, to the bike, honey, okay? Now, Brandy did release a statement saying that, she was dehydrated, etc., child. She needed, some endorphin. She needed some electrolytes pumped in her grill, or she was finna give y'all, a matrix bend to the bike, honey, front row tees. Now, the gag about it is, girl, I don't know why Brandy thought she was going to be able to, hoot and holler all over the microphone. And she came out here dressed like she just had gastric bypass surgery, bitch. When I saw this outfit for Brandy, I said, oh, girl. Brandy got on her mutual combat outfit, bitch. Okay, y'all remember. Monica smacked the fuck out of Brandy backstage during their 1998-1999 performance at the Video Music Awards, girl. So I felt like Brandy came dressed ready this time, girl. I said, oh, baby, this is mutual combat armor, girl. Okay, bitch, she came ready, bitch, this time for Miss Monica. I also was trying to figure out, what in the hell would cause Brandy to start dying and disintegrating, girl, because nothing about what Brandy does vocally should warrant her ass nearly about to pass out, girl. It ain't never gave no Whitney. It ain't never gave no Mariah. It never even gave no Bobby. So while she was on stage talking about ha 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 ha, what y'all didn't realize she was actually saying was, I'm hot, 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 girl. And y'all in the front row, girl, just swaying the auditorium, child, singing along, thinking she giving y'all a teenage bop, girl, when she was up there crying and screaming and sounding off 911, girl, letting y'all know, bitch, that is trouble underneath these big ass spotlights, child. So shout out to Brandy for getting her Aquafina, girl. They had to douse her ass up backstage, girl, dip her down under, girl. She had to come out in her bikini, in her tank top, so the vocal magazine, the vocal pamphlet, girl, could, be at optimal performance, girl. They say the girls was, trying to call their credit card server and Ticketmaster to get a refund. Baby, they wasn't expecting all this goddamn ER and Medicaid-like performance to be going on all over the stage. Baby, people did not expect to have to be first responders at the show, girl. Okay, if anything, people thought it might have been Monica who would have needed assistance, girl. Monica vocals be vocal and child. But the folk wasn't expecting to have to be first responders, baby. People came, to get away from their work, not to be employed, girl, and hold Brandy ass up and carry her ass out on a military cot so that she can get the vocal surgery that she needs. So shout out to Brandy for regaining her vocal strength, baby, and following through on her show. Is there any other Conscious crew members who will be going to a Brandy show? Are you guys going to see Brandy and Monica? Do you guys need that? Do you guys need that, girl? The tour is mine. All right, let me know in the comment section, child. Speaking of influencers and passing the hell out, girl, TikTok and Instagram influencer Manly Manny looks like he's doing pretty well. You guys know that we reported on Mainly Manny in our last Hot Topics video. Manly had been hospitalized because his ex-boyfriend, I guess whom he was still using as a sneaky link, had accidentally sneaked the AIDS into his bloodstream, and he had no idea. He found himself immobilized, paralyzed, losing his damn sight. He had to be hospitalized, thinking that he was suffering from pneumonia. Come to find out it was full-blown AIDS. And he was in the hospital saying that they were getting him together, girl, getting his T-cell and viral load in order. And now he is back out, seemingly praising the Lord, honey. So we're happy to see Mainly Manny out doing well. Let's check out what he had to say, ciao.
All this mail I got, that's the only one open. I stuff on my credit card. I got some from people, fans. They're not open, but that one is, and I didn't know but it. Hey y'all, good morning.
Okay, so girl, he happy. His fans are sending him all type of gifts and things, child. But Manly looks great. I'm so happy that he caught that in time, baby, because he was over there thinking that Chrisean 19 was gonna pass in 2 weeks, baby. And he didn't realize, girl, he was about to be forever in the grave, girl. So y'all, please get tested. Please continue to ask for the proper paperwork from your partners. I don't give a damn if you've been fucking them for 17 years, girl. A lot of us rotate our exes in between time. In the meantime, it don't mean them hoes in out there whoring or taking care of themselves. Don't allow familiarity to make you put your guard down, because you got one health and one immune system, girl. And once she shot to hell, you might not get a second chance. Okay, I don't know about y'all, girl, but you know, I'm a real freaky Scorpio bitch, baby. Okay, I like to devour my motherfucking partners, girl. Okay, bon appetit. Y'all know I'm very poly, I'm very polygamous, so I do not play around sexual health. We got to run that paperwork. Paperwork stays circulating amongst my harem, girl. Okay, so please go out of your way and make sure that you are having the most responsible sexual exchanges that you can. Do not trust nobody to tell you the truth. A lot of people have a lot of shame around HIV still. So even if they know they're carrying, they are not very vocal. They don't want to divulge that information. So don't be having no Boy Scout, Girl Scout honors code thinking that people are going to do the right thing. No. Matter of fact, the data says that most of the people who are actually spreading HIV are people who don't even know their own status. So these are people who don't even know they're carrying, people who don't regularly get tested at all, who unbeknownst to them are engaging with other people and spreading the virus. So ask the questions you need to ask, but more importantly, put a rubber on and, you know, try to reserve super nasty shit, okay, for people who you are in very much so strong covens with, child, because the world is crazy and people are taking less and less care of themselves, especially since HIV no longer is like a deadly virus, especially if you're under treatment. You can get to the point of being undetectable and not even spread the virus, even if you are having intentional unprotected sex, etc. But because HIV is no longer the big scary virus that it used to be, a lot of people are even more relaxed around just raggedy sexual engagements and not interested in using condoms, unfortunately. So please protect yourself. So we're happy that mainly Manny is back out here, girl, and getting into the thing, child, and hide that goddamn Social Security Administration piece of mail, child, Manny. Okay, girl. We saw the Social Security Administration mail, girl. Now, speaking of Social Security, child, Tasha Coochie motherfucking K, child, done let it be known that she done had an alleged intimate and private conversation with Katt Williams. Now, you guys know that Tasha K had interviewed Katt Williams' biological brother, Stephen Williams, about a week or two ago. We came and gave an epic review. Get into that if you missed it, girl. She sat down with this man in person. She got him drunk off of mutated liquor, honey. He started telling all the goddamn business, claimed that he had been actually assaulted by Katt Williams when he was a young boy, and Katt was also young as well. I think he was 5 and Katt was 13. Claimed that this is what led to their father beating the hell out of Katt Williams and putting Katt Williams out of the house at 13. Claimed that Katt has been lying about why he left the family, why he left at 13. He didn't leave because the father was some religious, argumentative, physically abusive maniac, but because Katt had been touching him and the dad found out and he got his ass whipped accordingly and ran away out of shame. Says that Katt also has been embellishing other parts of their whole life story, not telling the people that he was financially dependent upon their parents all the way up to being 18. He also talked about how he himself went to live a life of crime for some time that landed him in the big pen. Spoke about working for Katt Williams. Spoke about how Katt Williams had an adopted son, I think by the name of Malik, if I'm not mistaken, who Katt used to brag about and talk a lot about earlier on in his comedy skits. But then that conversation ended and you never heard about Malik anymore, because apparently what took place is Malik started suffering from, what do you want to call it, hallucinations, became very suicidal, eventually was institutionalized, and then took his own life in a mental asylum. Also, there's been another member in Katt Williams' comedy camp that ended up murdered by Katt Williams' bodyguard at a home that Katt Williams produces some of his adult entertainment content out of. The brother was basically alluding that Katt has something to do with that comedian passing away and getting unalived, alluding that it was out of jealousy because Katt has the Beyonce complex. So if Aaliyah needs to come down out of that plane, bitch, Aaliyah is coming down out of that plane. That's practically what Steven was saying. And rest in peace to the great Aaliyah. He also said that he believes that Malik, the adopted son, was more than likely also subjected to sexual abuse, just like he was, because Malik's adopted mother is also him and Katt Williams' cousin, who's a full-blown lesbian, and she too had violated Steven when he was young as well. So when he got out of prison and he went to work for Katt Williams and found that Katt and the female cousin, the previous adopted mother of Malik, were raising Malik together, he believes that Malik was subjected to more than likely sexual abuse, and this is ultimately what led to him taking his life. He said prior to Malik taking his life that Malik was all on social media posting imagery of the Illuminati, making posts like why me, said that Katt practically did nothing for Malik considering all the resources that Katt has, given his wealth. And he wants people to start asking Katt the right questions. Okay, thumbs up, you guys. So, you know, he gave it up, girl. He gave up the ghost in the interview. Now, Tasha did say prior to the interview, she reached out to Katt to let him know, to seek a statement, and there was no feedback from Katt. She said she also had did this previously when she interviewed another one of his comedy peers. She let him know, hey, and pretty much to no avail. So she had a conversation according to her. She says, major update for the winos. After having an extremely deep, detailed, and transparent conversation with Katt Williams, no lawyers were involved at all. I want to first say that he was nothing but respectful and understanding of the work that we do. We spoke for nearly 2 hours, and he answered every single question that was brought to our desk, including those from his own brother, Steve Williams. Katt did not shy away from the hard questions. I appreciated every allegation head on. I approached every allegation head on, and he was both patient and articulate throughout our conversation. He made it clear that he takes these allegations very seriously and took the time to explain in depth his relationship with his family. After careful consideration, our team has decided to remove the interview with Steven Williams. Our findings indicate that Steven allegedly suffers from several mental health challenges and has reportedly been committed to mental institutions multiple times throughout his life. At this time, we remain fans of Katt Williams and will continue to seek truth with integrity and respect for all parties involved. Thank you for your understanding as we strive to bring you the most accurate, fair, and responsible storytelling possible. Give us 48 hours to remove all of the clips. See you all tomorrow. So what is given is that Katt Williams threatened that bitch with a motherfucking lawsuit. Okay. Tasha ain't never been genuinely considerate of a goddamn thing, honey. She ain't never gave a damn about the truth, etc. And I don't think this post really provides a substantive reason why she's removing the interview, because she said according to her findings. Well, him being in a mental institution and having some mental issues would not mean he was lying. I mean, most people who've been abused have some mental issues. The irony about that is that Katt Williams himself has had mental health episodes, had public freakouts, have been arrested, have been on drugs, he was taking the fucking police on a high-speed chase on a Walmart electric scooter with a blowout with no edges, for God's sakes. Could you imagine? A 4'11" man with no edges, a blowout in the wind on a goddamn electric scooter on the highway, girl. Gas to the floor. with 11 police girls trailing behind him. I mean, my God, today. So I don't still understand why the interviews have went down. If she don't release the secret recording of her and Katt having this conversation, girl, I'm gonna believe that this is a goddamn cover story. And the reality is that, girl, he threatened her real big time, honey, with a major motherfucking lawsuit, because maybe there are some things that didn't fully check out in the interview, honey. And because Tasha is done with like that legal smoke, honey, because she good for taking some shit down now, that celebrities like Cardi B and Kevin Hart done proved, girl, that they will commit to the very end of the things. If we get a recording, girl, I want to hear all these pertinent questions she asks Katt. I want to hear Katt response to what his brother allege. I want to hear him speak about the allegations against him regarding his adopted son Malik, his proximity to their cousin, who apparently also SA'd his brother. And I want to know why Katt would talk to Tasha when he might as well just should have spoke to the public, because baby, the public is where the damage has already been done at. So the whole thing is weird to me. It's kind of given that maybe Tasha is participating in a major cover-up on behalf of Katt Williams, girl. So I don't know whether he threatened to sue her ass, or rather, girl, he slid her a check, baby, because we know Tasha can be brought. Okay, we know she's a lapdog. We know she's hungry for money. I told you guys, Christmas, Hanukkah, Thanksgiving is coming up, girl. Her SNAP benefits ain't going to be coming in for the month of November, child. And she got to pay Cardi B her $200,000 at the end of the year, like bankruptcy and her agreed to, girl. So she need all the coin of the coin of the coin of the coin of the coin, girl. But this whole thing is very suspect, very weird, very bizarre. And we'll see, girl. We'll see what happens. And I wonder if Steven are going to do any other follow-up interviews since Tasha Coochie K is folding and bending the knee for Katt Williams. You know, Tasha seems to be in her, she want to be in the industry bag now. She wants to actually have proximity, since nobody cares about her non-proximity tea. And maybe she realizes there's more equity in her being able to spin stories, her being able to really get her grift on based upon her proximity to celebrity child. So I think Tasha is even probably more compromisable today than she ever was. I mean, she's always been unintegral. She's always lied. She's always put out half-truths or just full out lies altogether. But now, desperate times calling for desperate measures, girl. The winos ain't gonna be able to afford that app next year, girl, because they Section 8 being clipped, their food stamps being clipped, girl. The wino's gonna be on a very strict, tight motherfucking budget, baby. So she got to find her another grip. And that grip is riding the dickhead of these damn celebrities like she doing with Onika, etc. So if y'all ain't seen the interview, baby, you might want to get your ass in there super quick and capture and screen record what you need to, since Tasha is taking the shit down, apparently. Moving along. Rob Kardashian, you guys, is making a comeback to television, grill. Okay, he's gonna be pulling up with his pussy popping ass sisters, girl. Okay, for this season of the Kardashians. You guys know him and Blac Chyna, the mother of his only child. They are working on things, working on a friendship, probably open to a relationship at some point, long as, you know, Tokyo Tony gets to sign an NDA and stitch her gap closed. And I'm pretty excited to see Rob back on television. Rob is such a little hottie, and he was one of my first vanilla crushes. You know, I'm not attracted to too many white men, but, you know, Rob is one of them. I can definitely see why Blac Chyna hit that. And I hope that he's ready for this as Well, are you guys happy that Rob Kardashian is going to be making his way back to television, child? Okay, I think he done got his body dysmorphia in order. Because, you know, for a long time, he didn't like the way he looked on camera. I don't know why he just didn't go and have the fat sucked out of him and have lipo like his sisters have done. You know, he comes from a long line of Transformers, so he could have went that route if he was just that devastated over his physical appearance, child. But he's back, and I'm actually super excited. I'm still not going to be watching the Kardashian girl, so I guess I'll be seeing clips and shit on Instagram, because the whores ain't getting none of my motherfucking coin. Okay. Now, speaking of Kardashians, Khloe sat down on a podcast, and she began to share how she practically knew that something was going on with Caitlyn Jenner, who was then identified as Bruce Jenner when she was a young girl. So check out what Khloe says happened when she was just a kid, when she found out that Bruce had a motherfucking explosive secret.
Well, when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I want to say like 13, I was in Bruce's closet for some reason, and I pulled a bag down and I found wigs and makeup and all this stuff, and I told everyone what I don't know why it was alarming to me. I can't remember if there's something else specific that I said I found all of that. I think I thought maybe Bruce was cheating. I don't know. When my family told me I was lying, well, my mom and Bruce, I think they didn't know what to do. I don't even think my mom knew, but everyone was like, oh, you're making it up, blah, blah, blah. So I always knew about, for some reason, this event always stuck in my head. When I heard about this, I was like, now it's like, hello, like the pieces are coming together.
Do you know, I think this is the most mind-blowing story of our time.
Right.
Bruce Jenner
is
a woman.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
No, it's fucking wild. And what's crazy is I guess in the 80s, my dad heard a rumor that this is like what he was a cross-dresser. That's what he did.
Yeah.
And then we didn't know, because, you know, my dad and my mom are divorced. And so we didn't know if it was just our dad, you know, trying to like start like, oh, he doesn't want us to like Bruce. We didn't know.
Oh, because your mom was dating Bruce and he was like, oh, maybe he's getting jealous.
Right. So we heard that. I don't know when we heard that story, but that was also like, but now we just never thought that would happen. Well, when I was younger.
Okay, so what I find to be so funny about this is Rob, the dad, was a hating ass ninja. Okay, that's motherfucking hilarious. I also completely understand why Chris couldn't give up that cross-dressing peen girl, because Caitlyn was fucking the shit out of Chris, girl. Okay, this is one of the superpowers of bisexual men and men in general who are connected to their divine feminine, because they're fucking you the way that they fantasize about being fucked themselves, girl. Okay, so they're giving you that business, honey. That's why when you get that bisexual dick, girl, okay, you intellectually may be opposing because of the optics, baby. Okay? But that coochie forever sings and remembers times, baby. Because a bisexual man gonna fuck you the way he know he would wanna be fucked, baby. And I ain't mad about it. Now, the gag about it is, I don't even know why Kris Jenner ran off. Because, I mean, Bruce exposed the fact that Chris knew that he liked to pooch around, girl, and Flavor Flav dresses in the middle of the night, girl, and fix him cubed water downstairs, girl. Ain't Kendall said, girl, one day she came downstairs, girl, because her whiteness was dehydrated, and it was about 2 a.m. in the morning, child. She had to take them flakes down the stairs, came into the kitchen, and Bruce was down there twirling around like goddamn Cinderella bitch in the dining room, having damn teacup parties and shit, dressed in her mammy shit, girl, shook her, child, okay? So the cat being out of the bag, no pun intended, but I don't know why Chris caught herself not being able to stay with Caitlyn, because yes, Caitlyn is a transformer, but Kris Jenner is on her third transformed face, bitch. So as far as I'm concerned, bitch, all y'all hoes is transformers, ho. All y'all Transformers. How one Transformer gonna have an issue with another goddamn Transformer? Bitch, ain't none of y'all made out of original parts no more, bitch. None of y'all, girl. Ain't nobody got their original part but Rob, girl. Okay, and he went to deep therapy so that he could gain confidence about his natural parts, since he can't count on looking out at his family and getting any affirmation that it's okay to be natural, bitch. He had to combat his own body dysmorphia thanks to these damn Transformers in his motherfucking family, bitch. So the gag to me of it all, child, is that Chris is on her third goddamn facelift, talking about she couldn't wrap her mind, she couldn't have accepted Caitlyn's gender identity, baby, when all of their ass came from Pluto. Make it make sense, girl. We just gonna keep Chris on the sick and the shut-in list. Now, speaking of a family girl who also need to be in some deep psychotherapy, bitch, is them goddamn Malones. You guys know that Baddies USA is filming, girl. They have an all-star cast. They bringing back OGs from the Bad Girls Club, mixing them with the new girls. And, of course, the Chrisean Rock and Tesehki storyline is playing out hardcore during filming right now. If you guys didn't know, Baddies, was it Baddies Africa? I don't know which Baddies it was, girl. I tapped out of that shit a long time ago. But one of these previous seasons of Baddies, girl, Chrisean let it be known during her confrontation with her sister that she pretty much don't respect her because Tesehki used to make Chrisean eat her box when they were young girls. And we know that this wasn't the first time that we heard about Tesehki allegedly being a young perpetrator in her family, because their nephew also had came out in the years prior to Tesehki getting on Baddies, saying that Tesehki was an abuser along with some of his other uncles. Matter of fact, he said that Tesehki, as a young teen girl, was like in a full-blown relationship to their uncles. There was a lot of like incest going on. When they would play house girl, it would be literal motherfucking house. And after the first 2 episodes aired of Chrisean making this allegation to Tesehki to her face, Tesehki followed up that with she was going to sue Chrisean. That never happened. That she was going to sue their cousin. That never happened. That she was going to sue the other relatives who had also made these claims about her. That never happened. Well, there's been leaked footage of the filming process, and Tesehki and Chrisean are being separated by bodyguards. Tesehki is saying, you know, that Junior is her son and she's going to take him. And a lot of us are not really surprised that this is playing out, because a lot of people were speculating that Tesehki was probably going to wait until those cameras started rolling again to cause some type of conflict between her and Chrisean so that she could justify whipping her motherfucking ass over those allegations that they never resolved, and Chrisean to this day never took back. Matter of fact, Chrisean has doubled down and made even more grueling allegations, which we're going to get to here in a few. So first and foremost, check out this leaked footage of Chrisean and Tesehki, sister and sister, blood sister and sister, in a full-blown altercation. And they brought my bitch back, Mariah Lynn, girl. I love me a white girl who thinks she a nigga. Oh, yes, baby. I love me your old trailer-ass white bitch who just swear, girl, she a melanin sister. Okay, you guys hear that? Baby, Chrisean ain't wanted none of that smoke, baby. She need all of Italy, but to be between her and Tesehki. It's a girl. Now you guys know they also had got into it, almost came to blows one time before, also during the first season of Chrisean and Blueface's show. My sister had to get in between that shit. Now some of the users commented and said, "Not Junior, my son, now Lord." Somebody else said, "Okay, they just need to fight at this point." Someone else said the ops turning on each other is hilarious. Someone else said Zeus set that ish up off TV. Someone else says, "I hope Marsh is ready to fight again." Chrisean girl, I wouldn't even call what Marsh did fighting when it came to Tesehki. You know, fighting is actually when a person has a genuine chance to actually defend themselves in an altercation, girl. When Tesehki was done turning Marsh every which way but loose, bitch, it looked like Marsh had been hit by a helicopter, girl. It looked like she had came face to face, bitch, with the propellers off of a goddamn helicopter, baby. When you come out of a fight looking like everything a bitch just put you through, baby, that was no longer a fight, bitch. You were just a living sacrifice. Okay? Mm-hmm. When you come out looking that fucked up after an altercation, girl, you were just a living sacrifice, baby. That was not an altercation, girl. Okay? We just going to, girl, just keep the ice pack on. Okay? Now, a lot of y'all, yes, thought that Tesehki and Chrisean were cool because recently they've done made some appearances at clubs together. They've been doing some events together, etc. Everybody, and that's what made people feel like it's giving setup energy, girl. Tesehki just playing nice until she get that bitch back in front of them Zeus cameras, and she gonna tear her ass apart. Now we don't have any context right now for the altercation and what really took place. We know there's been alleged that because Chrisean claimed, well, I'm gonna let Chrisean tell it, okay? Chrisean claimed, wait, let me see. Are these all the clips? No, they're not. So Chrisean did two IG lives. She did this one here where she's going to make even more damaging allegations against Tesehki. But in another IG live, which I don't have pulled up here, she basically said that Tesehki girls pulled up and allegedly had a gun that she didn't know why they had, well, and allegedly the gun was supposed to be for Marsh, but Chrisean claimed she wasn't buying that because who the fuck would need a gun for Marsh? She can't even survive a bitch's elbow, yet alone anybody needing a gun for Marsh. She felt like really the gun was for her. Now why these girls pulled up, what the fuck all this was about, I have no motherfucking idea. I'm just gonna wait to the show, which I'm also not gonna be watching, girl. I'll be seeing the clips because I stopped giving Zeus my money, last year sometime, girl? Yeah. Couldn't do it no more, girl. Couldn't support Lucifer, child. But she also went live again and said this to the beef she got going on again with her sister.
You wanted to go sell, she was a stripper. You sell pussy. You went to go sell pussy just for your first kid to be raped by his cousin. Nobody said nothing to you. You know what everybody did in the family? We went and looked for the person that raped her son. We didn't even hold Latifah accountable. We didn't care. We went for who hurted the kid. All right, cool. This time around, something happened with my son. You find a way in to play. Okay, cool. Then her name was Latifah. She jumped in the mix and was like, and her son, we didn't say, oh, you're stupid, you're slow. You wanted to go sell, she was a stripper. You sell pussy. You went to go sell pussy just for your first kid to be raped by his cousin. Nobody said nothing to you. You know what everybody did in the end? We went.
So more ancestral drama, girl. She claiming that Tesehki son, you know, who's now a young man right here, apparently was violated by another relative. And when I was listening to Chrisean, I was getting the context that hold on, let me
look for the person that raped her son. We didn't even hold Latifah accountable. We didn't care. We went for who hurted the kid. All right, cool. This time around, something happened with my son. You find a way in to play. Okay, cool. Then
okay, so I guess Chrisean was making the point that, girl, when it comes to her situation and her situation with her son, they always find a way to make it about her or find a way to make her the villain, even if there is an actual villain in the situation. And she was bringing up her sister's son being raped and how they didn't make that Tesehki's fault. They focus on the situation at hand. They focus on whomever was the actual problem in the situation. So Chrisean is just feeling like there's a double standard when it comes to how her situations are dealt with compared to the grace that she has showed to Tesehki when it comes to situations that Tesehki and her family have been in. Now, because Chrisean made this allegation that Tesehki's son was violated by another relative, Tesehki released a statement to social media addressing the matter at hand. Hold on, you guys. And thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up the video. These people are celebrities because of trashy ass, low vibrational networks like Zeus, unfortunately. So Tesehki said this to her stories. I am heartbroken and deeply disturbed by the false and malicious allegations recently made online by a family member about both me and my child. These claims are completely untrue and have caused tremendous emotional distress to our family. Now, this also isn't the first time that Chrisean said this. Following the aftermath of her accusations against Tesehki violating her as a child, she also alluded that Tesehki's son had also been violated too in a follow-up live stream about a year ago. Tesehki goes on and says, these statements not only harm our reputations, but also endanger our safety and well-being. We are taking the necessary legal and protective steps to address this matter appropriately. Out of respect for our privacy, especially for my child, I ask that people refrain from spreading, discussing, or engaging with these false claims. We appreciate those who have reached out with support and understanding during this very painful time. I'm going to be honest. Tesehki is one of my favorite, but the way she navigated these accusations were completely disappointing to me. I don't feel sorry for whatever Tesehki is going through with Chrisean, because immediately after Chrisean made those initial allegations against her, violating her, Tesehki should have went and sued the living shit out of Chrisean, especially if those claims were not true. When I saw the recent pictures of them together doing club events and club appearances, I was befuddled, because I'm not one of those people who believe that blood is thicker than water, because what's thicker than blood is love. And I would not have made the exception to forgive no motherfucking body in my life if they had came out of their motherfucking mouth and made a untrue claim that demonstrative against me, at least without them taking to the same platform and absolutely retracting those claims and making it clear that they lied, period, point blank, and lied out of rage and evil and not having any motherfucking thing else to say but to make up the worst thing they could motherfucking say. And even then and there would have never been no relationship again. What that public apology and retraction would have resulted in is me not whipping a bitch ass. But there would have never been no relationship, because to me, I'm a firm believer that there are just certain things that, while all things are forgiven, certain things destroy any potential and capacity for a reformed relationship. It's just not going to happen. So the fact that Chrisean in her making up, not Chrisean, Tesehki and her making up with Chrisean, whatever conversation they had that led to them being okay enough to do club events together and to be around each other, smiling and glossed up and new body, new tea. But Tesehki didn't demand that Chrisean go to social media and retract her claims. She didn't turn her motherfucking phone on and say, bitch, you're going to apologize right now and say that shit is untrue. She didn't file no civil suit. She didn't take any action of substance. After Chrisean put something like this on blast, what that has resulted in me believing is that Tesehki is guilty as charged. That's why her ass ain't taking up no legal issue the first time, and I highly doubt that there's going to be any legal action taken up the second time. And if there is any legal action being taken up, I guarantee you that lawsuit is only going to focus on what Chrisean said about her son. It ain't going to deal with them claims Chrisean made against Tesehki. Okay? Now, I believe Chrisean, but I also believe what people are saying about why Chrisean is saying all these things. It is out of being malicious. It is out of being inappropriate. And it is about winning in the war in court of public opinion. But I don't believe that Chrisean is lying about what Tesehki made her do. And the fact that Tesehki won't make Chrisean publicly apologize, the fact that she won't take Chrisean ass to task legally over those things is giving me that these things are definitely true, for sure. So, yeah. Tesehki is allowing Chrisean to play in her face. So, that's on Tesehki. We'll see what the fuck transpires and what comes out of this mania. Chrisean got a lot going on, girl. She had odds with all her sisters. One sister tried to run off with goddamn Junior. She had to call the damn FBI and shit to come down the chimney and get her goddamn child, baby. Blueface is about to be out. That's about to be a whole fucking mess. It's about to be a shit show. Okay, a total shit show, girl. Zeus going to hell. Zeus is going to hell. Okay, if there's one person that I am sure is going to hell, if hell exists, girl, it is definitely Zeus for the exploitation of it all. Now, Chrisean followed up with the criticisms that she's been getting since she's made these allegations that Tesehki's son was violated by another relative. Chrisean says, everyone that think they can speak on my son always lose their life. I wonder why they keep going when they see the end result of trying to harm me for personal clout gain. First, it was his daddy. Look at him. He's been locked up for 2 years, even though we know that baby is Ronnie's. Now, our son was 6 to 7 month baby when his dad lost his freedom. Then it was my ex-boyfriend, Ron. Unfortunately, that person died. Y'all won't learn until it happens, girl. So Chrisean is saying, look, bitch, I got the voodoo for you bitches. You guys not looking at the track record here, girl? Everybody who done spoke against my son, girl, done collapse. Well, we're going to need to understand why nothing has happened to Clarissa yet, who definitely has had Junior's name all up in her goddamn dick sucker. There's been her own sisters who have also spoken on Junior being blind and special needs, etc., girl. All of those girls are still standing as well. So it's not given that there's any real karmic retribution connected to speaking against, the sacred one, aka Junior, girl. But at the very least, Chrisean is interested in some of you bitches dying for speaking on her son, girl. So Chrisean mad as hell. This is a whole hot mess. It's really disgusting and just fucking unfortunate, girl. And, This family reminds me. Y'all remember that season of Iyanla Vanzant girl where she came to intervene in the black couple's family who had all their loved ones staying at their big ass mansion, and the dad was basically like a pushover and a people pleaser, and the mom was an alcoholic as a result because she, you know, had to share her hallways and her bathrooms, girl, with all these delinquent ass second generation relatives and in-laws, girl. And Iyanla end up having to walk away being like, girl, I don't even know if I can help these motherfucking people, girl. Find me a bush so I can weep for them. The Malones, I'm going to need a bush, a big bush, so that I can go and weep for these people. These people are so dysfunctional and tore up, girl. Just tore up. The fact that one of Tesehki's ex-lovers is one of the ex-baby daddies of one of her other sisters. Like, this family knows nothing about boundaries. There's been all this sexual assault, all this fucking incest, girl. It is a fucking mess, girl. And Clarissa and her children ain't no goddamn better. The other son of Clarissa, Blueface's brother, said that the only thing that they mammy taught them was how to eat pussy. I don't even want to know what exactly that even means, baby. I just want to request a big bush so that I can go and weep, girl, for all of the black families who are employed by Zeus to show their unholy asses, girl, for the sake of pennies on a goddamn dollar, girl. A bush. I need to weep. Moving along. Bia's numbers are in. You guys know that Cardi tore the girls up on Am I the Drama Girl? She came for the necklines of Ice Spice, of JT Girl, of basically all the girls who can't sell, ain't selling. Bia got out here, popped all this shit, girl, did a whole press tour, been trying to tear Cardi B and her marriage to her estranged husband apart, only for Bia to end up selling 2.8 units in the US in its first week of release. Bia's album did not even chart on the Hot 100, you all. When I saw 2.8K units sold, bitch, I thought I was looking at YouTube views. How do you have proximity and a cosign from the Cocaine Barbie herself, get a special feature on the Super Freaky Grandma remix, only to sell less than 3,000 units in its first week, girl? That means that, girl, a town of 3,000 people have Bianca's album worldwide, girl. Out of her entire American audience, girl, only a small redneck town that still pitch their water from wells have her album. I wouldn't be surprised if Bia brought half of these units herself, girl, and then had the actual clout from Cardi B's Am I the Drama only to sell less than 3,000 units. Girl, these are retirement numbers. Girl, I have more baby hairs around the perimeter of my head than Bianca had albums in the people's hands. Girl, you didn't even paint the billboard. The bitch ain't even paint the billboard, y'all. Girl, this is what you sell when you absolutely unequivocally do not have whatever it actually is in all caps, girl. 2.8 units? Girl, I would change my motherfucking gender, bitch. It would go from Bia to Bryant, girl. Because there's no way in hell, girl. The second hand embarrassment I felt, y'all, when I saw this girl numbers, girl, I shriveled up like a paper ball, girl. I just shriveled up from the inside out, girl. 2 point, I didn't even know, girl. There should be a default line when you put out an album, girl, that you at least start at the 10. I didn't even know 2.8K units were even possible. Underground artists have sold more brick and mortar versions of their goddamn album than Bianca was able to manage selling, even in the digital age where music is objectively accessible. I don't want Bianca to engage in another beef. This bitch shit didn't even go triple platinum. It didn't go triple plastic. It didn't go triple aluminum foil, bitch. It didn't even go double Dutch. I don't understand. Like, her own label didn't even try, girl. Like, they didn't even try to at least buy 10,000 units themselves just to make the optics optic, girl. Bia, it is time to retire, bitch, as a rapper and go and apply to be a special ed educator in the school system where you are needed, bitch. Okay, we need educators. We need English teachers, girl. We need mathematicians, bitch. It is time to put down the girl. Sweetie is doing better than you in sales, bitch. Sweetie is doing better than you. Now, you said there was a whole lot of money in this motherfucker, but bitch, you ain't used none of the money to make sure it's a whole lot of views in this motherfucker too, bitch. Because what does it matter if you got a whole lot of money, bitch, if you ain't got a whole lot of motherfucking sales? How just go take whatever money you got in the bodega, bitch, and go retire on Epstein Island, bitch. Go somewhere secluded, girl, and just leave me alone with this Apollo, because bitch, this is a scheme that you and Todd that came down here to the motherfucking people with, bitch. Girl, there is no recovery, girl. This is a eternal gag, bitch. JT will be able to gag you for life. Nikki can gag you for life. Carter can gag you for life, girl. When you've been gagged to this extreme, girl, it means this is the end, baby. Okay? The Lord couldn't be more louder, girl, that you need to sit your ass down, bitch, and apply to be an English teacher. Girl, if you've been secretly in your room, bitch, asking, girl, the Lord, are you on the right track? The Lord, just answer, baby. No, you're not. If you've been speaking to your ancestors and throwing chicken bones and looking through palm reading and crystal balls and tarot cards, girl, asking, girl, for a sign, bitch, you just got the biggest sign from spirit, girl, that your ass is supposed to be a English teacher. I'm gonna send that bitch a voice note tonight, bitch. The Lord has answered the call, girl. Get into the education system, girl, where we need you. Okay? It's time to be done with this. Girl, we're going to put Bia, girl, on the sick and shut in. Now, speaking of the sick and shut in, girl, y'all thumbed up the video, girl. I don't make up the news. I just reported, y'all, okay? I don't make the news, baby. We just reported, girl. Yes, honey, we got to hold a candle vigil for Bia, baby, okay? Even though there may be only 2.8 of y'all in there, girl. Nonetheless, hold a memorial service. Because who else needs to be on the sick and shut-in list, girl, are all of these disgruntled-ass heterosexual people, girl, who just can't stop their obsession with the LGBT community, girl. We can go and have our own village. We can go out, have our own, post nightclub, girl. We can go and have our own marches, baby, and the straights gonna still show up with the them going to hell ass signs. So apparently, this man here showed up to an LGBTQ church and stood up in the middle of the service, girl. just so that he could rebuke them. Check out the heterosexual agenda. I told y'all, girl, there is a such thing as the hetero agenda, girl. Conversion therapy, that was the hetero agenda, baby. Okay? Homophobia and transphobia itself is the hetero agenda, baby. But this is the biggest receipt, girl, of the hetero agenda. And turn the volume on, child.
Cause us to move, right, and get up and speak out and say something. And that's why I'm here today to tell all of you guys that you need to repent, or you should all likewise perish. Because are you familiar with 1 Corinthians 6:9? That says the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God. And that list that's in Corinthians 1 Corinthians 6:9, right? The idolater, the fornicator, the adulterer, the homosexual, the reviler, the covetous, the drunkard will not inherit God's kingdom. And I'm looking around, I'm seeing.
And then he had the nerve to quote all of these mistranslations. That is not what it says in original Greek and Hebrew. It actually says the effeminate, okay? And the cultural context then for effeminate had to do with the wealthy, because wealthy people, especially, well, yeah, wealthy people, particularly wealthy men, were flamboyant by nature. Flamboyancy was actually seen as a sign of wealth and prestige. Also, that scripture says boy molesters. Okay, so even the effeminate is really flamboyant and had a cultural undertone, while having also a dual meaning, because it's Greek and Hebrew, of boy molesters. Had nothing to do with same gender loving people. And let's just say hypothetically it did. Let's just say that the Bible said flat out that no gays, no queer men, girl, none of the CTVs in the world are going to enter the kingdom. I'm trying to figure out exactly where did the Bible say that that's any of your motherfucking business, bitch, okay? If God already done rejected me, what the hell you pressed about? Like, where in the hell in the scriptures, girl, does it say, go and shove Christianity down people's mouths? Go and just shove it in there, girl. Okay, don't simply share salvation. Don't simply share the message. I want you to go and run and chase people down like ice, bitch, in the streets, girl, and harass them and berate them and browbeat them down with your religiosity. That's not even congruent with the way that Christ evangelized. Remember that particular instance in the scriptures where the rich man came up to Christ and said, hey, Christ, I want to inherit the kingdom. And Christ said, okay, you rich ass motherfucker, give all of your wealth, all of your pearls, all of your diamonds, all of your treasures to the poor, and then come follow me. And then that rich man realized, girl, he was good on the kingdom and said, you know what? Let me go think on that, girl, and hard ass, never to be seen again. And what you don't see the scripture saying is that Christ cursed the man as a result of not giving up his God, which was the God of wealth, the God of materiality. What you don't see is Christ running behind the motherfucking man, making him feel bad, telling him that God don't love him, God don't want him, God's going to condemn and shame him. Don't see none of that. And yet, let these Christians that came after Christ go flood through Europe, kill up a bunch of motherfucking innocent people during the dark ages of the church, girl. Hang and drown a bunch of fucking people because they operated outside of the status quo, or because they didn't understand the divinity and mysticism around certain people and considered that to be witchcraft and the powers of Satan, child. I mean, hell, they ultimately crucified Jesus for all the same reasons. Jesus himself was a victim of religiosity. The scriptures literally said they called Jesus everything but what Jesus was, which was the Son of God. They called him a doer of demons. They said his powers came from the demonic. Everything they didn't understand led ultimately and culminated ultimately to the crucifixion of Christ. So even if homosexuality was emphatically spoken against in the scriptures, even if that is what the scriptures meant contextually, where exactly does it tell you to go and force spirituality or the Christian tradition and the Christian culture down people's throats? Where does Jesus appoint people to go forcibly shove and force feed Christ into people?
This LGBTQ stuff, and that has no place in God's kingdom. The Bible says, what fellowship does light have with darkness, right? The Bible says that a man should not allow another man as he does a woman. So, what, like, ma'am, come with me. No, I don't want to come with you. I'm saying you guys need to repent. You guys are sweet people. I thank you for the welcoming, but at the end of the day, God has called us to holiness.
Now, the LGBT people were virtuous enough to allow this outsider in to their space. They off and away, minding their business, okay? They off and away serving their God. They ain't asking nobody to accept them. They ain't trying to get another church to change their rules, to change their traditions, to change their prejudice, girl. Instead, these queer folk done went and carved out their own shit. They ain't making nobody uncomfortable. Can't nobody say that they trying to force it. Why y'all trying to force this gay? These people just went and minded their own gay business. And this man is so bothered, girl, that instead of spending his Sunday with people who ain't in church at all, with people who ain't near Christ at all, and doing something noteworthy with his time, he decided, girl, he needed to go give them gays who serve in Christ a piece of his motherfucker. Baby, girl, the obsession for me is hilarious.
In righteousness, right? To not stay in our sin. So can you appreciate that?
And that's the issue that I have with so much religiosity in their interpretation of salvation, is this idea that you can micromanage someone else's salvation. You cannot. My salvation is none of your motherfucking problem. It ain't your priority. Okay? Damn, your own Bible literally says, may every man and every woman work out his or her own soul salvation. You can't work out my soul salvation. So you don't get to decide when I'm supposed to be whole in God. That's between me and the Lord. You don't know how deep my sin goes, my trauma goes, my mental and emotional injuries go. That's between me and the patience and compassion of the Lord, which is why the Bible is adamant about staying the fuck up out of other motherfucking people's way when it comes to their relationship and exchange with the Lord. All Christ asks Christians to do is be an example of the Father's compassion, of the Father's virtue, of the Father's unconditionalness, of the Father's virtue. So that people can know that there's not some angry, homicidal, sociopathic, maniacal, divine figure up there who is unreasonable, who is stoic, who is preposterous in his expectations, but it's a complete opposite, gentle, eternal, who provides and loves all, who welcomes all to the table. The problem with religion and Christianity is that it wants to not only decide the table, it wants to decide what's on the table, it wants to decide how long you sit at the table, it wants to decide how long you're supposed to be at the motherfucking table, and all of that is literally incongruent to the genuine self-actualization of the love of God, the mercy of God, and the transformative metaphysical power of personal and intimate contact with the Holy Spirit. You trying to measure that and make that a science and tell people that because they've been in church for 2 weeks or because they've given their life to Christ that all of a sudden now, all of that is literally the legalism that Christ spoke against when it came to the Pharisees. Like, y'all have a form of godliness. Y'all make this shit so black and white that literally y'all just enacting the law. Where is the spirit of the law at work? Christ said, I've come to fulfill the law by introducing and revealing the spirit within the underbelly of the law. Y'all have made this walk and this thing with God mechanical and about behavior modification. And then you wonder why you got still so many struggling people in the church, despite the fact that they dress up they sin, they dress themselves up to look holy, just like the Pharisees do, and then still fall short of the glory. Because this thing with God is a matter of the heart and a matter of the mind. And just like no man may know, when the Father comes, no man shall know, baby. When your journey is complete, but you and God. When you're wrestling. When you're towing with the Holy Spirit, girl. When your war between your humanity and your divine state has become complete, but you and the Father. All other believers are supposed to do is facilitate the safe space for people to go into their relationship with God. All this micromanaging motherfucking people and micromanaging their growth and micromanaging their shit, and then still having the audacity to be financially dependent upon them same struggling ass people. You still want their tithe and offering. You still want their motherfucking coin. You still want their motherfucking attendance because it makes you and your ego look good as a pastor, as a minister. Girl, the church is so out of motherfucking control, girl. The church is so out of order, out of control, girl. They couldn't be more further, girl, from what this thing is supposed to look like. And no wonder millennials have pretty much brought about the death of the Christian era. It's not relevant anymore. It's not relevant. Millennials are not going to church. They're not raising their kids to adhere to a religious idea of God. Millennials are teaching something more interpersonal, teaching something more intimate, are figuring out for themselves what it means to be in relationship to God and letting God literally take the wheel. Not another nigga who got to wipe his ass like you, acting like he has any more of a deed and title on heaven than you do. Spending his time trying to create a have and have-nots dynamic amongst the people of God, instead of recognizing, as Christ said, that you're all the children and daughters of the Most High. That you all are going to go forth and do greater than I have. That the kingdom of heaven is within you. Why do you marvel at the things that I can do when you too can do these things? These religious folk trying to separate us from God while Christ is trying to align us in oneness with spirit. Anywho, girl, somebody go and let straight folk know it's okay, baby. Straight folk don't know this, baby. We okay, darling. It's okay. It's okay, girl. God got it, okay? God got it. Now, speaking of gay shit, girl, TikToker influencer Rula, okay, he runs in the Consciouztv circles and all of that, girl, speaks on why he removed his dermals. Quote, y'all thought I was gay. Here's once again the straight agenda at work, girl.
That I was gay. I took the dermals out because y'all thought that I was gay. That is why I do not have dermals. And it's not about what y'all think, but if y'all are pressing the issue and trying to like just say what my sexuality is and make me literally seem as if I'm something that I'm not, I've never identified as anything a part of the LGBTQ community. So out of respect for them, stop false claiming people for the LGBTQ. Y'all be false claiming. Y'all throwing up y'all set for people they're not even in the gang. They not even in the game. How you ripping for somebody that never said that they wanted to join? How you gonna rip for somebody else? You gonna force somebody to rip for you, cuz? Are you serious? You see what I'm saying? You guys see what I'm saying, though? That I was gay.
Don't ask me why he's shaped like a big toe, because I don't know. But, you know, a poor thing, girl. It's hard to be a alternative black boy in a homophobic America, girl. And this is what us gays be meaning by the fact that homophobia and queerphobia even affects straight people too. Transphobia affects natural born folk as well. There's a bleed over, okay? Because when we perpetuate homophobia, what we're really doing is not just directly attacking homosexuality as an orientation, we're also attacking Black men's ability to have self-expression in ways that may be unconventional because it's labeled as gay and or queer. Now, unfortunately, you know, Mr. Rula came out here, girl, claiming that he don't give a damn about what y'all say, but then absolutely changed his behavior, took his dermals out, and assimilated literally because of what y'all say. And that is just so absolutely tragic. You know, I'm starting to think that before motherfuckers get on social media and get out here as semi or full-on public figures, girl, that we need to start taking some type of confidence training, girl. Okay, start doing our shadow work, baby, because a lot of people not built for this shit, baby. Let me tell you something. I get criticized all the time. I literally had someone comment on a post earlier and saying, because I posted this picture here. Let me see if I can pull up this picture. I posted this picture here, girl, to my community wall, girl. Okay? And it was given big dick, cis, hetero energy, girl. Okay? I guess the girls felt like, girl, it's giving boy Damon. It's giving boy Damon. Okay? So somebody was bothered because they was like, girl, you need to make up your mind. You need to make up your mind on whether you want to be a boy or a girl. Okay, just go ahead and get rid of the beard if you want to be a girl, or just be the boy. And I'm just like, but the fact that I've never gotten rid of the beard lets you know that I have no interest in being a girl. I am very clear about the fact that I am a boy, and I'm a pretty one, and I'm a boy who loves to play in makeup. I'm a boy who loves to play in unisex aesthetics. I'm a boy who loves to play in hair, even though I also have 23 inches of my own natural God-given hair. Okay, I don't have bald-headed genetics. That's why I still have my hairline. Okay, my hairline itself is longer than some of these hoes' ponytails are. Okay, I can't help it that I have the best of my mom's genetics and I have the best of my father's genetics. I can't help it that I am a perfect, woven, androgynous masterpiece of both strands of DNA. We all are androgynous. I can't help it that I may have a higher cheekbone than you, and you want my cheekbone to stay in a manly place. I can't help it. You know, that I have soft and masterful facial features, and you want those facial features to stay in a manly place. It's you who's competing with me. You don't even realize it. I'm just out here being a badass bitch and showing what my mom and dad gave me unapologetically. We need to reverse who's really the one bothered here, okay? Because I've always identified as a male. And the gag about that is that if I didn't have the mustache and I was really really giving estrogen, y'all would be out here telling me that I'm not a motherfucking woman and that I need to be what God created me to be. But then when I'm giving and I'm strong in what God gave me and I wear my mustache and my goatee loud, proud, and I own it, that's not enough. You are in competition with me, my love. Okay? And because the way that our creator is set up, that he made sure that everybody is a fucking transformer, because everybody has and is a product of both male and female coming together to co-create a child. I'm never going to shy away from that. So if I look better in a corset than you do, boo, you got to take that up with your mother. If my ass is fatter and sits higher than yours, you need to take that up with your mother. My mother didn't pass on any recessive genes to me. My father didn't pass on any recessive genes to me. Okay? You have to take that up with your material maker. Okay? And stop trying to get me and convince me out of my spot so that you don't personally feel inferior. Because when you look at me, you don't understand why, as a man, that makeup hits better on me than it does on you. Or why that hair and that cut and that color hits better on me than it does on you. You don't understand it because it don't conventionally make any sense. And it's not up to me to make it make sense. It just is. Ain't the Lord said I am that I am? So please, okay? I am a boy, Damon. I'm not a girl. My ID says male. I have a dick. I use it. I top it. I bottom it. Okay? I'm just a pretty boy. And if it looks like a pretty girl sometimes, so be it. It's okay. I was made by a beautiful woman as well. She's going to come through. I was made by a handsome man. He's going to come through. Girl, I'm a conjurer. I'm a medium, girl. Okay, these are the dark arts, baby. Okay, the beauty of both are going to come through, honey. I'm just a canvas for the best of what they had to give. Okay, don't be trying to reverse engineer my shit just because you ain't comfortable and happy with what you got. That's what we're not going to do here. Okay? Now I can spend all day on this, but we going to move it along. Because, baby, that's a whole nother chapter out of the Leviticus. Okay? Now, speaking of homophobia, girl, Tami Roman from Basketball Wives got some major motherfucking backlash, girl. Okay? Because she recently sat down with the Candace Burris and her daughter. And they got into some things regarding why she didn't want her daughter, Jazz's partner, who's a female, to attend Jazz's college graduation, child. And a lot of people were shocked and surprised out of Tami. So check out this conversation, girl, which I'm going to try not to spend a lot of time on because I have a lot of things to say, but I don't want to be here all night and I want to keep this video under 2 hours. So I'm going to try real hard to condense my talking points. Check out Tami and her daughter, who's gay, Jazz, sit down with Candy and her daughter.
I'm graduating, right? Mm-hmm. Getting my degree, and she can't be in the She can't be there. Do you get what I'm saying? My girlfriend can't be there.
Why?
That's true. Exactly. There's moments that my people have. Thank you. Let's speak about it if we're going to speak about it. Let's speak on it. Speak on it. Even tell. I told her, but she knew. She was like, "Okay, I can't be there."
Congrats. With your other daughter, Oh, she's straight, right? Her boyfriend's in the past. She's never been allowed to bring her boyfriends around.
She would be.
She would be.
She would be.
And what's the difference? Because
thank you. I love it. Now we talking. What you did? You leaned in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
That's fair.
Because there's something called confirmation bias, and when people think like you think or appear to be how you are, you're more drawn to those type of people. So my daughter is a heterosexual female.
Let me say this.
Okay, so we got to deal with the first part of that real quick, you guys. We got to deal with the first part of that. Now, on one hand, I think it is so amazing that Tammy had enough self-awareness and had enough emotional, well, she ain't got no emotional intelligence, but she had enough self-awareness to at least know that I'm being biased as fuck. Okay, because change, repentance, correction comes from self-awareness first and foremost. So I'm like, okay, cool. She's mature enough to know, yes, I know that I'm being unfair because of my own biases as a heterosexual toward another heterosexual versus how I am toward the homosexual in my life. All right. Now, if Tammy had any emotional intelligence, what she would have did with what she came to be aware of is actually do the work to make sure that she was extending the same favor to her queer daughter that she does to her heterosexual daughter. Me and a good friend was just talking the other day about how a lot of people need to step their emotional intelligence up, because a lot of people, they know what they're doing is fucked up. They know they're being prejudiced. They know they're shortchanging a person. They know they're being selfish as hell. They know it, but won't do anything about it. Just like Tammy hasn't done a goddamn thing about it. She actually is just trying to make space for her bias instead of full on confronting her bias and really get into the rooty tooty of that and resolving that in love, because her daughter deserves literally the same mother that Tammy is giving to her straight daughter. The fact that Tammy is allowing her biases and prejudices to roll over means that she's literally giving her queer daughter an entirely different parent than she's giving to the straight daughter. And when you are the queer person, because I was the queer son of hetero parents, and I had a younger brother who was straight, and I constantly ran into the difference in terms of how and who my parents extended themselves to be to me versus who they extended themselves to be to my brother. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to watch your parents give your siblings something that they actually have. You know, it's easier to rationalize it when your parent don't have it to give to nobody. They ain't got it to give to you. They ain't got it to give to your sister. They ain't got it to give to the youngest. They ain't got it to give to the middle child. They ain't got it to give to the oldest child. It is devastating when parents have this type of unconscious biasness in them, and they don't even know that they're forcing the child they're biased toward to watch them give away a love, a acceptance, an affirmation, a sense of being seen to their siblings, and are intentionally withholding that from them in the name of, I wasn't raised like this, in the name of, well. Excuses.
Me to accept whatever situation she's presenting versus not really understanding this moment. And so I got to take a step back and figure out how it works for me and how I can be comfortable in that moment, because there's something called mental health that we have to be concerned about. And I got to be concerned about mine. Even though I'm trying to walk with her and love her, I still got to do what's right for me as well.
Okay, but you're not graduated. She is. So
she's graduated.
Really
So to make sure that you feel the relationship is
Okay, for one, Anna, this ain't about gender. This is sexuality. I know a lot of y'all don't know the difference. Homosexuality and lesbianism is orientation. Male and female, man and woman is gender. Jazz is not a trans man or a trans woman. She's a gay woman. And no, I don't think it's supposed to be hard on the parent, because parents need to know that they're being weird as fuck by even giving a fuck about who their child is laying with, as long as who their child is laying with is someone that is well to them and good to them. I think a lot of parents don't realize that you're actually sexualizing the fuck out of your children when you're making who they love and who they're attracted to about you as if you got to come home to their partner, as if you have to live that life with whomever they are choosing to love. And I really want parents to sit back and really ask themselves, what place is it? And where's the relevancy between who your child falls in love with and your personal sanity and peace of motherfucking mind? It's weird. It's weird that people are literally trying to raise straight children. You're trying to literally raise someone to be straight. Have you even thought about what your motivation is to begin with, aside maybe from making a carbon copy of yourself? But even that's the issue as well, because your children are not here to be a carbon copy. God gave each of us our own life path, each of us our own unique personality, each and every last single one of us our own sense of individuality. Nothing is the same in the universe. We are variations due to cultural influences and everything that we already come into this world with as a pre-programming. So I personally also don't like the style of raising children, which is raising them to basically not have a fucking identity and making their existence about you and your expectations, you and your ambitions. And this is why so many, especially millennial people, have so much contention with their parents, and so much of their relationship is really broken. And it's because the reality is a lot of parents never made real space for their children. They weren't more so interested in getting to know who you were and really cultivating your own sense of self, more so than they were making sure that they were projecting onto you and making sure that you lived up to all of those projections. I have nieces and nephews in my life that I'm co-parenting, and I have no desire to shape who they are, because I can already see who they are even in their earlier developments. I'm here to make sure that they are good people, not that they're straight people, not that they are biological male, female identifying people. I'm not here to make sure that they are Christian even. I'm not here to do none of that. I'm here to make sure that they are good motherfucking people. The rest is on them. How they want to identify spiritually is on them. What they are in orientation is on them. What they are in gender is on them. I'm just here to make sure that I'm not raising a serial killer. I'm just here to make sure that I'm not here raising a member of the Proud Boys. I'm here to make sure that I'm just not raising a goddamn Candace Owens. I'm here to make sure I'm not raising a goddamn Donald Trump. But the rest of that shit is on them. I just want you to be a good person. I want you to be the kind of person to where when other people befriend you or get into a relationship to you or come into contact with you, that they have such an experience of goodness that they have to ask you who the fuck your parents are and meet me directly to thank me for bringing you into the world. I'm not worried about whether your ass is gay or straight or trans. I don't give a fuck. I want to make sure that when you go out into the world as a person, that you are able to be a blessing to other people and not a curse, and not an ignorant buffoon, and not somebody who's interested in harming people emotionally and mentally and oppressing people and getting in other people's way superficially. I don't give a damn about the rest of this shallow ass shit that ain't got nothing to do with me. If you a boy who feel like a girl, that ain't got a goddamn thing to do, baby. What you want to go do? Pick out your bustier? Let's go. I don't give a damn about whether you straight or motherfucking gay. I ain't fucking neither motherfucker that you attracted to. When you bring them to the house, hello, and sit your ass down. Are you ready for cornbread and wine? I don't care. I don't care whether you're Christian, atheist. I don't give a damn whether you're a Buddhist. That's your own personal life path, because I know how I felt having church forced on me, having God forced on me, and how I had to go through a whole dismantling of my religious identity because I realized there was a discrepancy between what I was taught and what I was sincerely experiencing as God. I wouldn't want my child to inherit that. I would want my children to have the freedom to actually be. I just want to keep them away from the self-destructive parts of themselves. The part that's telling them to kill themselves, the part of them that's telling them to bully another person, the part of them that's tempting them to steal, that's tempting them to lie, that's tempting them to kill, the part of them that's short patient, the part of them that's enraged and angry. I'm here to regulate all that. I'm here to make sure that they can survive that part of themselves. Everything else is on them. Let's get back to Tammy. I'm already giving a damn monologue.
Lasting before you introduce them to me, because I become involved in your situation and your life.
Wait, then I have a question.
Come
so
on,
how
Riley.
long do you want to wait to meet them? Because what if you meet them and you actually don't like them, or you actually do like them? Maybe you could give some wisdom on what you actually think. Because like,
send me a picture. I don't need to information bias. Allows
send me a
to
picture.
Accept. I can tell because I've been around a long time. I've been around a long time. I've been around a long time. Send me a picture and I'll tell you, get rid of that one. I know instantly. It's called wisdom. It's called discernment.
Yeah, I think she should be okay for her to come. But no, she's not gonna. She shouldn't have to be in the family picture.
Ain't nobody asked you for your opinion on what's happening over here.
Well, we are here to speak on it. So actually, yes, I am here, and you're here, bitch, to also speak on it.
They right. I don't want that. I don't need to be a part of that.
Okay, so at what point? Agree with you.
Thank you, Riley.
At what point is it gonna be okay for her to meet you?
When is it around? Okay? We got Thanksgiving coming up. She can come to Thanksgiving.
She ain't coming to Thanksgiving.
That would be like a year, right?
No, exactly. That's a year.
I feel like a year.
That's a year for me, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
they got a date.
Where we do our New Year's trip.
They got
it's fried turkey for the people that we already knew.
So what's the problem? Because before you said it wasn't really about her lifestyle, it was about the person
and the timing.
In this situation, you're not even allowing yourself to get to know the person.
No, I will eventually get to know the person once I feel like the relationship is lasting, that they understand what it takes to be in a committed relationship.
Who are you to tell us how long that's going to take?
They right. I don't want that. I don't need to be a part.
Like, who are you in our relationship? That's what I meant. Like, to tell us how long that's going to take.
Listen, if y'all decide or y'all feel y'all have come to some place of resolve where 8 months from now, we know we're going to be together.
That's what I meant.
Then let me see it last a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay.
Let me see it, evolve into something where I know the commitment and the covenant is real. So between y'all.
My only thing would be we don't want to harp on this, but do you realize how many moments?
Yeah, a Jazz always had like a baritone type of like a deep voice.
You're missing out.
And that's what I mean by everybody got transformer parts. You could be a whole biological woman and have your daddy's voice. You could be a whole biological woman and have your daddy's feet, his shoulders, his flat booty. You could be a male and have your mom's high-pitched voice, have her chingy eyes, have her hips, have her round face. I mean, we're all transformers.
My life of someone that I consider special because you're not accepting
The moments that I want to have with you, I'm still having those moments.
and you put me in a position to pick, right? But that's okay.
Well,
I'm always choosing.
Listen, I'm picking every day. I'm picking every day.
Okay, so the gist of it is here. Tammy definitely got some microaggressions when it comes to the sexuality. She can at least admit that part. She needs to do further work on that. But I do understand Tammy whole like try to bring me people who kind of don't be around, because I'm the same way. Like, I don't want to meet every new bitch you done met and then these hoes ain't even here 3 weeks later. Like, all my friends know, don't introduce me to nobody who ain't been around and who don't really mean something to you and who ain't kind of been a little bit tested by time. Because, baby, I ain't got time to be letting people in and out of my house, in and out of my motherfucking refrigerator, girl, just in and out of my clout. Okay? Like, try to make it make sense for you first. And then when you really feel like it really makes sense, then we can start integrating this person into everybody else's life once it makes sense in your own life. I'm very particular when it comes to people. I'm very peculiar about human beings. I don't answer my door on pop-ups. All my friends know not to bring somebody that I don't know and that I have not agreed to my motherfucking home. So I'm with all that because I get it. And I definitely get it because of Tammy's fame, that she definitely can't just have any and everybody kind of around her, because people are so weird these days. People will just make up stories because they have proximity to you. People will become extortionists. So I think the stakes are higher for her as a public figure, because I govern myself the same way. But the whole, like, literally making it about sexuality, she could have kept that. That part is purely problematic. But if she has this thing, regardless of sexuality, where she just don't want to be meeting any and every motherfucking person without it making sense, and she just don't have the emotional capacity to deal with all that coming and going in her life, I respect that. And I think that's justifiable. I also don't think that Tammy should put her daughter in a predicament to where you got to choose between me or her, and if she comes, you won't come, because two things can exist at the same time. Tammy, you can sit your Newport 100 smoking it down to a filter ass through that ceremony and show up for your daughter without having any intimate engagement with her partner. And if I was Jazz, I would let my partner know, hey, you knew I like you. We got a good thing going. I do want you to be a part of this event because it's just an obvious event that I would want the people in my life to be a part of. But because, girl, we fresh to this, I also am not ready to formally introduce you to my parents. So, come to the ceremony, but I'm not introducing you to my family. You sit aside and wait for me. I'll deal with them. And then, when the ceremony is over, girl, we can go and eat each other out or something. So two things can be accomplished, girl, at the same time. It don't have to be one over the other, child. All right. I spoke about Katt Williams in the beginning, so y'all have to hit the replay. Okay. Moving along. Kanye West, girl, who need to be in somebody's goddamn padded room, is out here looking somewhat sober, going in on Kim Kardashian over North West's social media habits and I guess her aesthetics. You guys know that I think North West is 11 years old, and she's scribbling all over her face. She has fake piercings apparently. I would want to know how she achieved this, like her septum piercing. How is that fake? Because this looking real, bitch. Okay, I done seen the fake septum rings. I mean, I got one in my nose right now, but none of mine are open-ended at the bottom like this. This is giving, girl, a genuine piercing here. But she says it's all fake. She's also wearing a grill. She has colored hair. Sometimes her hair is Rapunzel long. And Kim has been also getting ate up by the general public because of how eccentric Northwest's appearance is. But this is what her estranged pappy had to say about it.
Got off the phone with Kim. I told her to stop antagonizing me with this TikTok thing. I said it's never again. I am her father. I know y'all don't respect fathers and the idea of family, and media tries to promote something. I said I'm not allowing my daughter to be used by TikTok, to be used by Disney. I have a say-so. And then when people say, oh, they're going to use this for you in court, I didn't have a say-so on whether or not they went to Sierra Canyon. Most men do not, there's no such thing as 50-50 custody with in society today. That's not even, it always leans towards the mom. But right now,
and it definitely should in your case, Mr. Sued over distributing corn to your 11-year-old and 14-year-old interns at the Yeezy shop, Mr. being sued for essaying women and personal assistances, Mr. getting oral sex from your wife Bianca out in the open on a fucking canoe, Mr. having your own wife walk around with her titties, pussy, and ass hanging all up out of her motherfucking drawers. Mr. sometimes I want to be on my meds and sometimes I don't want to be on my meds. Definitely in this case, girl, I agree. Between the lesser of the two evils, between you and Kim as a parent, girl, she's better off in Kim's hands. Ain't no telling where the hell North would be, girl, if Kanye West was the dominant parent in the situation.
That you guys got to see just a small piece of what I dealt with. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, everybody,
Okay, so a lot of things are going on here. Now, some can argue, girl, Ye is the father. Sure, he's the father. But I have a lot of issues with the things that led up to the creation and birth of North, such as the fact that Kanye West chose a culture vulturing, black man obsessed, capitalistic, non-black woman who particularly has a niche in beauty and using her sexuality as a per capital, as a parent for one. Like, you chose Kim in such a way that Kanye West bragged about Kim. Bragged about her to the point of saying that he is so happy to have her as his wife and the mother of his children because he knows that his daughters are going to have the same bodies. Kanye West all of a sudden pulling us, Kim is the villain, Kim is exploiting our fucking daughter, when you literally are just as exploitive. And you literally intentionally outsourced for who would hypothetically be the mother of your children based upon the way that woman physically looked, and then you chose Kim Kardashian out of all fucking people. I don't feel sorry for Kanye. I do not feel sorry for Kanye. You chose Kim as a mother. You chose the Kardashians as the other half of your children's family. The Kardashians are not some closeted, wealthy family playing the background of society, baby. You're talking about a woman who got her mother involved in her sex tape in order to rev up the clout and sensationalism around that sex tape with Ray J. That's who you chose, Kanye. You chose a woman connected to a band of women who do not have a great track record with Black men. You chose that. You chose for the family to be something you could have controlled, because we choose our partners, we choose our mates. The family that has a particular niche in sexuality and sensuality as the family that would be the blood relatives of your children to be. You chose that. And you didn't become disgruntled, girl, until it unchose you. And now you're putting 20 on 10, crying aloud. You yourself have been accused of being objectively dangerous for women, objectively dangerous to young people. We've read your lawsuits aloud, sir. So I don't know what the hell Kanye West is talking about. I don't know what the hell he's hooting and hollering about. North West is not on the front of Playboy magazine. North does carry herself in a way that maybe some of us who were born in the 80s and prior are not per se used to a 11-year-old girl looking like. Like, did I know 11-year-olds that looked like this aesthetically when I was coming up? No. But I'm also mature enough to know that there's actually nothing objectively wrong with the way North looks. Is it different? Yes. It would my parents have allowed me to wear and scribble on my skin and emulate tattoos and wear pounds of fucking jewelry around my fucking neck and look reasonably independent and adult? No. But that's the adversity. That's the diversity of fucking America, is that people do what the fuck they want with their fucking kids. And Northwest looks like a rich, privileged 11-year-old whose mom has enough wealth to make sure that she has Secret Service around her. She is taken to school and picked up from school in black truck SUVs and by special armed guards. So this 11-year-old here is not even in danger in the same way that a ordinary, non-wealthy 11-year-old girl would be in danger. Kanye West almost speaks about Northwest as if him and Kim are just two broke-ass people living in a broke-ass America, and that Northwest is just able to bounce around her community and her neighborhood looking like this when that's not Northwest's reality. Northwest has a schedule. She has tutors. She has private drivers. She has bodyguards. She lives a very privileged, closeted lifestyle. So do I expect a privileged, well-protected child to probably have a lot more self-expression given the level of protection afforded to that child? Sure, because the parent knows that this 11-year-old is not accessible in the way that an everyday 11-year-old would be accessible to perverts or accessible to robbery or accessible to thugs or accessible to crime and those who are criminal. While the father who was outraged over Northwest having a social media privilege was the same father that greenlit her to do records, that produced her first single, that also greenlit her vocals on Diddy's track. Like, Kanye West is just a hot mess. I don't fall for the hypocrisy of his bullshit. This is just a war between Kanye, who's bitter about the destruction of his union with Kim and trying to play up issues around her parenting style to disguise his inherent bitterness toward her, having nothing to do with Northwest. Nothing. This has nothing. Kanye West have nothing to do with Northwest or Kim's parenting style. It's just about his need to fucking control. It's just about his issue with not also being able to quote unquote exploit Northwest. This man was out here advocating for Diddy, and yet you're out here having the nerve to judge motherfucking Kim Kardashian, bitch. Kim Kardashian obstructed to her daughter's vocals on Diddy's track. The protective helicoptering daddy, as Kanye West would have y'all believe through his hooting and hollering, greenlit it for exploitation. The truth is that if North had been in Kanye's grips, she would have been more exploited than she can be argued to have been in her mother's grips. What the fuck demonstration what positive demonstration do Kanye West believe he could even be, considering all the allegations against him, and considering, bitch, that you treat your fucking wife like a living, walking pocket pussy? What were you going to tell Northwest about Bianca? Absolutely fucking nothing is what he was going to tell her. Talk about mixed messaging. Talk about Northwest being a fucking psycho. Has she been raised by her daddy, because he don't even have the ability to even tie his goddamn shoes and chew gum at the same time, or to even medicate his fucking bipolarism, while he's out here praising Trump and praising fucking MAGA and putting a dog collar around his own motherfucking wife, praising fucking sexual deviant individuals like Diddy, and yet you are the outraged father. Kanye West, get away from me with this, girl. Get away from me. Get away from me with this. Girl, you are a psycho. And you are sick. And I'm not going to let you grift me, girl, into your fake performative fathery outrage about Kim allowing y'all's rich, wealthy 11-year-old daughter to have a social media presence that is heavily supervised and managed by Kim and her whole team. Moving along, girl, to last but not least, because that could be an all-day affair. Marvin motherfucking Sapp, baby, asks why pastors are raising money for ministry get dragged while creators are profiting off church controversy get praise. Okay, so Marvin Sapp caught himself taking a direct shot at the church sector via criticizing social media users for always having something to say about pastors who are raising money for this, asking money for that, when there are other so-called Christians and so-called Christian influencers who sit online and do the motherfucking same thing, begging for Cash App, PayPals, and or super chats, and sign up for this, that, and the motherfucking third, girl. He's saying, what is the reason? What is the reason? And you know what? I actually agree with Marvin Sapp. And here's why, okay? I think his viewpoint is sound. The reality is, whomever makes up the body of Christ, of so-called Christ, the body of religious Christ, got to decide, baby, which way y'all want it. If you want a pastor who you don't have to pay, who you don't have to allocate and carve out a salary for, who doesn't have to pass the collection plate around every motherfucking Sunday service, then you need to decide to be a digital member of that goddamn church, because churches are buildings, and churches that are brick and mortar have something called rent. They have something called a mortgage. They have something called a utility bill. They have something called a choir. They need musicians, all the things that make your ass run around the goddamn sanctuary and hang from goddamn chandeliers. All that shit costs money, baby. Anytime you want to invite your friends and family in, or you looking forward, baby, to pooching through in your good Sunday shit to show off with your unsaved ass. Every time the church turns on a switch, it's running a tab, okay? So not only does the brick and mortar actually cost coin, but if you also prefer your pastor, the head nigga in charge, to also be available and on call for your marital issues, for your children's dysfunction, because the pastor not only preaches on Sunday, the pastor makes himself available to deal with every bitch's problem in the motherfucking church, at least those who are a paid member. And if that man had to have his own first lady, his own children, and work a conventional job, there's no way in hell he's also going to have the time and the emotional availability to be present for his members in the ways they may need him spiritually, emotionally, mentally, etc. So, baby, the church are going to have to figure out, baby, which one they want. If you don't want to have to pay to play in the church, baby, then also be okay with not having a choir, which is not having a drummer, not having a keyboardist. Also be okay, baby, with not having a brick and mortar, and also be okay with not having a pastor who has time to talk and console you and consult with you privately about your issues. Because if he got to be a regular ass nigga in this world, baby, all those resources and all of those privileges and advancements go with that. So I ain't really even putting onus on the pastor. I'm just gonna need the public. Each body regarding each church to decide which one you want to have it, baby. And they're going to be setbacks to either reality. If you want a pastor to be there, you want a brick and mortar, you want musicians, you want classes and all type of shit to be available by the church, you want a pastor who can be intimately involved in your life and shaping your life, then yeah, that comes with running, baby, a motherfucking tab. Yeah, baby, that's all business. But you definitely can't have both. You can't have a brick and mortar and have a choir and have a ready available pastor for fucking free. All of those things come with a price. And a pastor might be a man of God, but he's also the son of motherfucking man, baby. Okay? One nigga. So I'm gonna have to agree with what's the difference. If your pastor is digital based and don't offer himself outside of his teachings and his services, okay, cool. Cool, baby. Okay, but if you are pastoring in the traditional sense, I do get Marvin's assessment and his attitude about it, girl. Because essentially, all a pastor and a minister is a content creator of God. They're creating religious content. We're all content creators. Okay? So that's my assessment. Leave your thoughts below, girl. We've been here for almost 2 hours and a motherfucking... Matter of fact, let me just read what he had to say. Let's have an honest conversation and please read thoroughly before you respond. How is a pastor wrong for publicly raising finances to advance ministry, feeding families, funding outreach, building community, yet those who attack the church for doing so are simultaneously generating income through algorithms, click, and controversy? One raises resources to build the body. The other uses the body's perceived flaws to build a brand. Different motives, same monetization. So the real question is, if both are benefiting financially, one is for the church and the other is for personal gain from the conversation around ministry, why is one labeled manipulation while the other is celebrated as authenticity? Okay, I absolutely agree with all of that. Now, obviously, what Marvin Sapp is not talking about are the capitalistic churches who are literally just lining their pockets through the gullibility of the church body. He's not talking about none of that fraudulently insincere, greedy shit. He's talking practically for those who are raising monies for the right reasons, for sensible reasons. What is the criticism for those church bodies having a monetary goal each month and per year versus whomever, content creators, church sector, bloggers, etc., girl? I'm with Marvin on this. If you want a brick and mortar, baby, and you want your church to be the baddest bitch on the motherfucking block, girl, and you want your church to be able to also pay your rent if something happened, you want them to be able to house your children if something happened, you want to be able to get marriage counseling, you want to be able to have a couples retreat, you want to be able to have all the things, girl. Like it's like a real life city within this church body. Yes, that is built upon the coinage. It's built upon the architect. The pastor going to be the architect of all of that vision. It's okay if you don't want to give money, but also understand, girl, the situation going to shrink profoundly if money is not going to be there. And you're just ultimately going to have a preacher who is just teaching and leaving. He doesn't have the time and the space to act outside of that capacity because he got his own motherfucking family. And he got to spend the rest of the work week just like you, baby, working and laboring. But if you want your church to be the baddest motherfucking church on the block, and you want all the things of the things of the things of the things, girl, and you want your church to be essentially a extended family, you want it to almost be its own independent government, you want to be able to get fed, clothed, and sometimes fucked, baby, it's gonna require the moolah. Oh yeah, if you want guest speakers, if you want your church to have a van allocated toward going and picking up the members of the church that may be disabled, or the children, or those without transportation, guess what? Vans cost money to buy and or to lease. Gas, you gotta have somebody allocated to be a driver. Look, all these things, none of these things run on faith. None of the shit runs on faith. It don't run on faith. You want a ramp to accommodate those who are in wheelchairs or special needs? You want your church to be accessible on the internet too? Okay, cameras, equipment, internet service, all that shit gotta be paid for, girl. So if a church body is raising money, do I think that in and of itself warrants criticism? No. If the church body is abusing, if the treasurer, if the government of the church is abusing that funding, nobody knows where that money is going. Only the pastor seems to be benefiting. The church isn't growing, etc. Reasonable criticism. But in the case of churches who are doing right, they got to keep the lights on. They create financial programs. They create opportunities for members to get therapy, to go to college, etc. Y'all want handicap ramps at the motherfucking church. Y'all want vans and all type of shit. Y'all want to be able to go visit other churches, transportation, Greyhound, all that shit got to be provided for. Shit. Okay? And if I didn't want to pay a church, I would just be a goddamn onlooker from Facebook, girl, when they stream the service on Sunday. My point is that you're just not going to be able to have it both ways, though. If you want all of those things, yes, you got to run that coin. If you just want your pastor to be a teacher and you don't see him outside of that, baby, he don't come to the house, he ain't available to talk to you and your tired-ass husband about y'all marital issues, or you and your football head-ass kids about why they driving you crazy and seem to be possessed by demons and shit, baby. If you're okay with your church not being able to help you in a time of need, child, look, those going to be the side effects of a church that don't raise no money for nothing. Okay, so long as you just understand, it's okay to get how you live, to be a paying member or to be in a non-monetized church, but it's going to be two different experiences as a result, for sure. It's going to be two different experiences. Now, if the criticism is for those who abuse the finances, those who abuse the church body, those who take it for self-gain, right, of course, we all agree to that. We all agree that that's fucked up and that shouldn't be there and the witch hunt should ensue. But that ain't what Marvin Sapp is talking about. Marvin Sapp is talking about literally just what is the fundamental inherited criticism of churches who raise money for proper and right reasons, but yet people expect all the things to be made available by way of having a church home and being a part of a church body. Tell me what y'all think, child. I got to get out of here, y'all. Okay, speaking of church money, let us pass a collection plate, honey. If you enjoyed the show tonight, make sure you Cash App, honey. Give your tithe and offering to the Cash App $Consciouztv and or PayPal.me/Consciouztv. Conscious spelled with the Z on the end. You can also email me or the T at Consciouztv. Follow me on Instagram, Patreon, the whole motherfucking nine. We do have to get into Onika, Horseface Wiggins, Barney B, Trasher K, girl. I have not forgotten about those shenanigans. I just wanted to come and kind of like give a traditional hot topics because we kind of be in the cocaine Barbie universe for the past few live streams. So I'm like, let me just break up some of this pathology here, girl, to just kind of shake off the crazy. All right. So we're going to go back into the multiverse of cocaine Barbie, getting into the thing, shall. All right. So you guys keep your notification bell set, subscribe, share, and please thumbs up on your way out. I love you long time. And tell me in the comment section what you guys think about any of the topics and any of the people that we discuss here below. I would love to hear from you. Bye-bye.